What's up guys, we're back again today with another great video, and in today's video we actually got another product from CarTrimHome for the Highlander, and this is actually some ambient lights that kind of go around your cup holder so you can kind of see them at night. Just kind of outlines it, makes it look kind of cool, and it's going to match the lights that we put in the door handles, like where you pull out from the door handles. I'll pop that video up now if you guys don't remember it, but the light and the color is going to match those perfectly, so it should go right along with them. So let's go ahead and we'll look at the product. Alright, so I got it laid out here on the Corvette. So as you guys can see right here, it actually looks just like the factory cup holder insert. As you guys can see, you've got all the little circles, and this is actually what helps you line it up underneath once we get everything popped apart. And then we've got our piggyback right here, which is what's going to allow us to get power and everything through the factory harness, which that's one thing that CarTrimHome does great. They always use a factory harness, or you know, they piggyback into a factory harness to where you don't have to splice wires and do all that, so it's super nice. And then they also give you a trim tool right here. So that's everything that comes in the package, and that's all you'll need for this install. So let's go ahead and we'll jump in the Highlander and we'll start taking everything apart. Okay, so we're inside the car now. You'll also need a Phillips head screwdriver as well. That'll be to take apart this cup holder on the other side, and then that'll also be able to get up here to where we have to plug it in, because you're actually going to plug it in at the column of the steering wheel. So you'll need a Phillips head screwdriver for sure, and if you have a snake, or like a wire feeding snake, or you can even use a clothes hanger, like a metal clothes hanger, that'll also help you, because you've got to feed the wire down through here and then you'll bring it back up through the column right here. So that'll also help you. You guys saw how I used the wire snake when we put in the heads-up display, which is right here, because that's, you also hook into the steering wheel when you're installing that as well. So let's go ahead and we'll get started on this. The first thing that you're going to want to do is we're actually going to pop off the two side pieces of the center console, and that will allow this top piece to pop out. We'll also be taking off the gear shifter top as well during this. All right, so first things first, let's pop these off. These are super easy to come off. You'll just grab in the back and just pull up, and as you can see, it just pops right off just like that. Super easy. And then we'll do the same thing on the driver's side. So now we've got both of those off really quick and easy right there. So now let's turn the camera around and we'll do the gear shifter. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is pull down the shifter boot just like this, and once that's down and out of the way, there's actually a metal clip up right up here. You can see the back of it right there. Let me show you. So you can kind of see the metal clip right there sticking out. We'll actually take, if I can do it with one hand, you can actually take your plastic pry tool that they gave you and just go right in this corner and pull it out just like that. And once you get it pulled out a little bit, then it'll come out. So that's what it looks like. Just make sure you don't lose it. We'll set it up right there. Once you do that, your shifter knob will come off just like that. All right, so now that we've got our shift knob off and the two center console side pieces off, now we can grab this and just pop it up, and it should all pop out. All right, so you're gonna take your hands and grab right up here, and you'll feel the seam, and just pull back just like that. And then you'll slide it forward, and then that'll get you out from your center console. And then right here, you kind of just got to work it back and forth. And then now we can sit it over to the side. All right, so now that we've got it out, you can actually see right here, see that little circle piece, the little silver piece there. You can kind of see that that mimics the piece that they gave us. So first things first, this is where the Phillips head screwdriver is going to come in. There's actually 4 screws right here underneath that's actually holding in your cup holder. So you've got one here, one there, and then one right down there. So I'm going to go ahead and take those off really quick, and then I'll show you what else we've got to do. Also, before I take those off, you can actually just grab this piece right here, and it just pops out. That's holding the wiring harnesses on, and that'll give you more room right there to be able to get to it. All right, so now that you've got your 4 screws out right here, you're actually going to see 2 black clips there and there. If you just grab one of them and push it outward, just like this, it'll actually loosen it up to where the whole cup holder will come out just like that. So as you guys saw, the silver trim actually came out with the cup holder on mine. Depending on, you know, how you take it out, obviously if your wife has spilt coffee in her center console or not will determine on if the silver piece is going to stay here or be in your cup holder right here. But regardless, that doesn't really matter. Just when you're installing the new one, as you guys can see right here is our new one. If you notice, there's a square on one side and a circle on one side. So that's really all you've got to line up. So it's going to go in just like this. And as you guys can see, the squares are here and the circles are there. There's actually plastic tabs inside there that actually help line it up. And then it just sandwiches in between your cup holder and up there when you put the 4 screws in, and that's all that holds that trim piece in. So I'm going to go ahead and put the new one in now. Alright, so I've got the new one in, and as you guys can see right here, just make sure that you're not going to pinch any of these cables when you actually put the cup holder piece back on. Also, just make sure that you push down where these squares are, because they're actually really tight and it helps hold that trim piece in. Just make sure you push them all the way flush with the top piece. So with this black piece right here, just make sure you push them down all the way, and that'll make it easier to install. So now let's go ahead and we'll put our cup holder piece back on and put our screws back in. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got our cup holder back installed, and right here, just make sure that none of that gets pinched and it goes through, you know, on either side, and you don't pinch it down with that clip. If you do that, everything should be good. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start running this wire down, and like I said, we got to come over to the console right here. So I'll go ahead and show you guys how to pop all this off. That way we can get into where this piggyback harness right here is going to plug in. Alright, so this is where your Phillips head screwdriver is going to come in handy again. So you're going to have a Phillips head screw here. Then you're going to turn the steering wheel this way, and there'll be another Phillips head screw here. And then there's actually one in the bottom right here. So same process we did when we did the heads-up display up there. It's going to be those same 3 screws, and then it'll pop out. All right, so we've got our 3 screws taken out. They're right here. Got them in a safe place. Sorry if the wind's blowing a little bit. I've got the AC on because it's a really hot day today. So once you guys do that, you can actually kind of reach down underneath and just grab with one hand, kind of like what I just did here, and you'll pop that side off, pop this side off, and then once you do that, then this top piece will just fold right up like that. And then the bottom piece right here, you actually have to move this lever right here sometimes. If you move it out of your way, then it'll allow this piece to slide right out. So as you guys can see around me, it's loose. All right, so the harness that we're actually going to plug into is the black one right here. So you can actually just grab and pinch, slide it out just like that. And I've got my piggyback laying right here in the floor. As you guys can see, we're going to plug this white one in to that same spot. Make sure you hear it click, as you guys heard. And now we're going to take that factory harness and put it back into this one. So let me set the camera down right here where I can use both hands. So let's tilt it up a little bit for you guys. So we're going to take this harness, we're going to grab our factory harness right there and just plug them into one another just like that. And now we're going to zip tie these up nice and neat up here in the column. And once we do that, now we can take this skinny line and we're going to run it down just like we did the ones for the heads-up display, right down here. And then we'll go over and then bring it up right in here, and that's what'll plug in our lights for the cup holders. So let me go ahead and I'm going to run in here and I'm going to grab my wire snake and some zip ties really quick. So that's another item you might want to pick up, is some, you know, some small black zip ties, just to make sure it's easy to clean everything up. And then obviously if you zip tie all this stuff together, it won't be moving around in the steering wheel. and also it'll make it easier for the column to pop back into place as well. All right, so I'll show you guys where I kind of cleaned it up. I left all the tabs on the zip ties, that way it'd be easier for you guys to see. Obviously you're going to want to cut all those off to make it look good and clean. So we've got one here, we've got one there, and as you guys can see, I tuck that piggyback right up underneath so it looks nice and neat. We've got another zip tie here and there, and as you guys can see, here's the harness running down all the way to here. I've got it zip tied, so I've got it cleaned up to there. Now we're going to try to run our wire snake down into here, and once we do that, we're trying to hit this corner right here. So that's where the wire snake should come out at, and then we'll run this up into here, and then from there we'll just plug it in and button everything back up and we'll be good to go. So as you guys can see, our last zip tie is right there and it's feeding down, and if you look right, here's where the wire drops down at. You can actually see my wire snake coming through right here. I've actually already got it taped up and ready to be pulled. I'll show you guys up here. Here's the wire snake. So I actually just fed the wire snake down right here, and it ended up popping out down at the bottom piece of the plastic. And even if your wire snake comes out, you know, like down in here somewhere, just push it up over to this square, and then it'll, you know, feed out of that point. So anyway guys, like I said before, if you don't have a wire snake, you can always use like a wire coat hanger. Just take it apart and straighten it out, and then you can use that. So now let's go ahead, and I'm actually going to need both hands, but I'm just going to start pulling this wire up through here, kind of feeding with my other hand. I'm pulling slowly, and then our wire should pop out right here, and that'll allow us to plug it in to our actual cup holder lights right there. So we pulled it up right here. As you guys can see, here is both of our plug-ins, and we ran it right up through there. Now I'm actually going to run it through all the way up into here. I'm actually going to plug into my harness right here, and then I'll kind of roll the wire together, zip tie them up. That way they're kind of behind where the transmission's moving and everything right here. If you just keep it tight right against here, it won't get in any of the way of anything like that. Also, go ahead and obviously clip this panel back on the bottom of the cup holder, and then just make sure you're feeding your wires that are coming out of your new cup holder light back this way as well. That way it'll make it an easy plug-in. And what's nice is you've got your cigarette lighter right here, so after you bundle the wire up, you can just zip tie it to that harness, and it'll keep it nice and tight. That way you're not hearing wires and stuff move in the car as you're driving down the road. So I'm going to go ahead and make this connection and clean it up. I'll zip tie it together, show you guys what it looks like. All right, so we've got them plugged in right here, and everything is zip tied and cleaned up. So now we can just flip this over and snap it back in, and then we'll go ahead and put our gear shifter on and put both of these pieces on the center console back. So when you're putting this piece in, just to make it a little easier for you guys, what you're going to want to do is actually prop it up kind of up into here, and then you're going to go down with it, and then you'll line this up obviously, and then you're going to slide it back, and then you'll feel it kind of lock into place because there's two little pins right here. They'll kind of slide back into those notches. You won't hear a clip or anything, it's just sliding back into here, and then you'll snap it down into everything. And as you guys can see, it's all snapped in now, and here's how it looks. As you guys can see, the fitment is great on this. There's no gaps or anything weird compared to factory, and it actually looks, you know, just like the factory one, honestly. So you can't even tell the lights are even in it, which is really nice. What I'm going to do now is, just so we can test it to make sure, obviously it's bright outside, I'm just going to turn my headlight lights on. And I know this is annoying, the dinging, but as you guys can see, it's on. So that's all you need to do really quick. Just test that before obviously you put everything back together, because if you test it and it's not working, you need to figure out the problem before everything's buttoned back up. All right, so we've got our gear shifter. You're going to pull this down and just make sure you go all the way down and it's bottomed out. Then you're going to take this pin right here, the one I just dropped. Take your pin and run it from this side back. You'll see two little grooves on the side of the gear shifter. You just want to go right into those two grooves and make sure you bring it all the way back. And as you guys can see, I messed up right there because I pulled up on the gear shifter before it went all the way through. So make sure you keep the gear shifter pushed all the way down, because these slots right here is actually what keeps it into place. So let's try that again really quick. that shows you guys right there. Even, you know, I mess up sometimes, everybody messes up. You just got to make sure that you do it the right way. So slide it all the way down, keep your hand on the top of it, and then put your pin in the side just like this. Just like that, and it's snug into place and it's good to go. Then you'll just take your boot, just pull it back up and snap it into place just like that. So with these guys right here, you can actually see this little peg that's sticking out. You're gonna force, or not force, but you're gonna put that peg right in here first before you snap your clips down, or it's not gonna go on right. So first things first, make sure you line that up and then you're gonna snap it down. As you guys can see right here, you're gonna put that right in there, and you see how it popped closer in. Then you're gonna go straight down, just make sure all your clips are in, and then do the same thing on your opposite side. All right, so now your center is all back buttoned up and nice and good to go. So now let's go ahead and we'll put our column pieces back on up here, and then everything will be back together. So all you've got to do right here is just fold this top piece back down, just line everything up, and once you've got it flat where it needs to go, I've already shoved my bottom piece in, and as you guys can see, there's all these clips going up through here. I'm gonna have to use both hands, but just keep one hand on top and then just snap all those clips together, and then once you do that, you'll be ready to put our screws back in. Let's go ahead and I'll shut the door. I actually pulled the car in the garage, that way it'd be a little bit darker and you guys could see how these cup holder lights are gonna look. But before we do that, before I show you guys what that looks like, one thing that CarTrimHome does a great job at, as you guys can see, you know, you've got, once we turn the lights on, you'll notice all these are blue. As you guys know, the blue light here as well. And like I installed in one of my videos, we've got the door handle lights as well. They're off because I've got the lights turned off. You can kind of see, you know, they're just hidden right up in there, but it's nice because at nighttime you can actually see where your door handles are and everything. So let's go ahead and we'll see what this looks like. It actually looks really cool, guys. Boom. So there you go. As you guys can see, it's lit up all the way around the cup holder. Super nice and sleek. It looks factory. That's one thing that's really cool about CarTrimHome stuff, as well as everything looks factory, along with hooking into the factory harnesses like you guys know. It's a little bit more to run the wire over there, but I would rather do that and hook into factory harnesses instead of having to solder or, you know, tie into wires that are, you know, down in here with the wire connectors and stuff like that. Just cheap and crappy. Super nice that CarTrimHome just uses piggybacks and goes into the factory harnesses. All the stuff that I've done to our Highlander that they've sent me hooks into those factory harnesses and plug and play, super easy and nice. And as you guys notice right here, you've got all your blue lighting around the whole car, and it matches up perfectly with it. We've got it down here, got it right there. And then as you can see on our door handles right there, the blue light and the blue light right here. It looks, obviously the door handle lights, it's really bright even in the garage right now because we're right in the middle of the day, and I actually have all my lights on in the garage too, which are really bright. You guys can see how good it looks basically in the daylight, direct daylight. You can see it super nice, and so you guys know already that it's going to be very bright at nighttime, which is super awesome. So with all the lights off in the car, this is kind of what it looks like at nighttime. So super cool. That'll be nice driving down the highway on long trips, just different things like that. It just makes your car feel nicer when you're driving down the road, honestly. And here's what the, you know, the door handle lights look like on either side. So just a super nice feature to have in your car, obviously for longer road trips and things like that. It's just little things like this that makes your car feel a lot nicer and more luxury. All right guys, so that's pretty much it for today's video. A pretty simple install. The hardest part will be obviously fishing that wire down. Everything else is pretty easy. I've already had obviously the steering wheel column off before, but taking that center console off, that was the first time I had done that, but it was really easy. You guys can do it. I would say give yourself 30 to 40 minutes to do it, just to be safe, because you don't want to be trying to rush something like this. You want to clean everything up nice. You want to pop your panels off nice and easy. Don't force anything, so that way you don't break any clips. But again, a really easy install, and most of that is because of CarTrimHome designing all these products so great. As you guys know, if you look at any of my other Highlander videos on the channel, most of them are from CarTrimHome, just because their products are so good. and everything is plug and play with them. They plug into your factory harnesses, and it's got a pigtail that comes off that powers their product, so it makes it super easy and simple for anybody to do. So if you're just a normal, you know, weekend car enthusiast, or you're a master mechanic, you should be able to do this super easy, and it makes your car look a lot better. Obviously, the Highlander's starting to look a lot more luxury inside and out now. So with that being said, guys, I'll have links below in the description of obviously the install we just did with the cup holders, but also those lights and the door handles and the heads-up display, and also some of the other products that I've done with them that you guys might like. These front lights is actually from them as well. So just check out some of their other products. Maybe this isn't for you, but they've got a lot of other cool stuff for the Highlanders. They're one of the only people that make stuff for Highlanders, so go support them. They make a great product and they're great guys. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and share it, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace out, and remember, build your masterpiece.
Hey, I got something to say. I'm just so sick of hearing everyone complain. I know it's tough and I know there's pain, but hitting bottom